You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
It all sounds like some bad movie.
Not for anything else, just so everybody knows. You can't fucking get this film.
You don't own this.
No, I don't. Not even on Laserdisc.
I thought it was on DVD. I thought I saw it on Amazon for DVD.
This is unavailable everywhere.
Really?
This is the third week in a row where we've challenged each other to a film that no one can fucking get.
Well, don't worry, because I'm not going to make that mistake for the fourth time.
Oh, really?
Really.
Okay.
I'm actually going to try to switch gears and go a bit more mainstream, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh. Okay.
Now, may I say, first of all,
yes,
that when you have a film in which the director has chosen the moniker Alan Smithy,
yeah,
that's always a bad sign. However, when this same director was happy beyond any, had no problem putting his name on Mannequin.
Yeah.
Yet this he got cold feet over. I think the only other films he directed, and his name is on all of those,
right?
Was a kid in King Arthur's Court, and Mr. Nanny.
Oh, with Hulk Hogan.
That he had no problem attaching his name to. This film, suddenly a little shy and putting it on the resume.
Yeah. Now, a kid in King Arthur's Court, was that it?
Mm-hmm. A Kid in King Arthur's Court.
Now, wasn't the kid in that the one from the American Pie films?
No, that one was a black kid, I believe, if I remember correctly. No? Am I wrong?
Yes.
I'm thinking
the kid from the Kid in King Arthur's Court. I believe he was one of the friends in the American Pie films.
I could have sworn it was a black. Maybe I'm thinking about the Whoopi Goldberg one.
There was a Whoopi Goldberg King Arthur film.
Yeah, they every 2 years they do a remake of a Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Yankee.
A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, the original short story by Mark Twain, Samuel L. Clemens. They remake it every 2 years. It's usually a direct-to-TV, and one of them was Whoopi Goldberg. They also did it with Martin Lawrence. But they called it Black Knight. Yeah, same thing. I forget what they called the Whoopi Goldberg one.
Thomas Ian Nicholas, and yes, that is the kid from the American Pie films.
Okay, there you go.
So just wanted to clarify that.
I was thinking
he has gone on to do bigger and better things.
Although
Not by much.
Always
American Reunion, that's gonna suck.
No, that'd be great. Stop.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But
okay. So that's always a warning sign. And I also had a problem with. I have a problem with any film that obviously you're gonna have the title's gonna be mentioned in the film. Yeah. But when you're screenwriters, and there's 3 on this one, actually take the time for one of the characters in the film to stop and explain the double meaning of the title. you know you're in trouble, because they're really assuming that their audience is not going to be that swift, and they're probably right.
Should we go ahead and play the film in the background?
Sure, why not? I don't think you're missing much by it not having the sound on. The basic premise is Cheech Marin is a loser who leaves East LA to seek his fortune in Australia, as most young Mexicans do.
Well, and one of the things that you notice immediately is and this is usually a warning sign as well, the horrible voiceover, the monologuing, just him talking to his girl back in LA, and it sounds so bad.
At least they had the common courtesy to work it into the film where what you're hearing is him writing letters to his girlfriend. And once that's done, except for one voiceover after that,
Right.
you don't hear him do that again. There's no more narration.
Right.
So,
I was going to mention that it does stop about 15 minutes in.
but at that one, but after that, does he that where he says, "Oh, if I fall in love again, just strike me with lightning, God." That's over voiceover as well, right?
No. He's
spoke
in
out
front of
loud?
a mirror. He's like adjusting himself.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
He's
So,
getting ready to go to work.
no, my mistake.
He's wearing like the whole mariachi costume.
Mariachi, yes. So yeah.
Peach Marin.
So at least they worked it in as an actual gimmick, and it wasn't just, oh, he's in a voiceover now to explain everything.
Right.
And the first 5 minutes is just all set up anyway. He's talking to the cabbie, explaining the situation. You see you meet his friend, his roommate with the kangaroo.
Right.
All right. So in the first 5 minutes,
Kevin. His
Kevin.
And the kangaroo was his name was Gus.
Gus.
Yeah.
And so the first 5 minutes of the film, we see Cheech Marin in a Crocodile Dundee outfit. He says shrimp on the Barbie.
Yes, he
and
does.
he gets punched out by a kangaroo.
All within the first 5 minutes.
We pretty much squeeze the Australian essence into the first 5 minutes of the film, because what follows is your typical fish out of water, poor guy, rich girl, rich family story, romantic comedy.
Right.
There's nothing. It's almost as if they took the whole film. I have a theory that the film was originally written for East LA as a Cheech Marin film, and then they got the money for it by trying to hop onto the bandwagon of the whole Paul Hogan Australian thing and dumping it in Australia.
Right.
That's my theory.
That's your theory?
Yeah, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
But so Carlos is a down on his luck Mexican waiter in Australia, and
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, he goes out there with high ambition to.
who doesn't? Who doesn't go to Australia with high ambition? I remember when I went to Australia, and I thought I was going to take over the world.
Did you go to Australia?
No.
No. Okay. He goes out to Australia. Yes, I know somebody did say Ishtar already in the chat. I'm trying to do two things at once here. Sorry.
What, you're playing Ishtar?
No, somebody asked what film we were playing during the Oscar broadcast.
That was
And,
yes.
and I'm just like, doing two things at once. I'm typing and talking to you.
I'm sorry. I'll answer the chat room stuff.
You want to do that? All right.
Yeah. I'm not playing the video, so I'll just have that in the background.
So I know you did say that. I love the ring. I
Right.
apologize. All right. Anyway, no, he goes out there to make his fortune and send off for the love of his life, Maria, which could that be the most overused name for a Spanish woman in film ever?
Well, the wind calls Maria.
Yes.
The wind cries Maria. Does the wind cry Maria or call Maria? I think it cries Maria. No, it cries Mary.
The wind Mary. Yeah, Jimi
Wind cries
Hendrix.
Mary, but the question is, how do you solve a problem like Maria? The answer is you don't. She dumps you.
Yeah.
And
or she has your gang and their gang get into fights.
And I love how they throw little things in there. Is my best friend too? What was his best friend's name? It was a cool name.
Coquillo or something like that.
Yeah, like his best friend like steals her, which happens later on in the film. Otherwise, so
Well, yeah.
so the pool we're picking ideas out from here is rather shallow for our screenwriters. So working
Yeah.
at the Mexican restaurant, a rich family, of course, decides to have a birthday party for their rich old white father at a
Mexican restaurant.
in lower class, sparsely populated Mexican restaurant. That's the first place I would take them.
Well, and I just don't understand what they were thinking with that. Aren't they from the area? Wouldn't they know that?
Yeah, and I guess they figured they're often because the guy there, the owner, was it Ron? He
Yeah.
yeah, Ron. I was right.
Right.
He knew them by their first name. So
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, the Hobarts. And it was like, this could really make the restaurant.
And they must have brought their father there for a birthday party because he hates fried beans, as they mentioned. So I can see why that's the first place you'd want to go.
Right, and they said, make sure you don't put the cake next to refried beans, and that's exactly what he does anyway. Even though in the scene he says, oh, you need to move over.
But then it never comes up again.
No.
It's like a setup for a joke, and it's weird because it's like, oh, here's the setup for the joke. The joke is, oh, the fridge was too cold and the cake is frozen now.
Right.
Why would you switch gears on a joke like that? You got to set up for the refried beans. They actually do an inside shot. You got to figure it takes time to build a refrigerator with the back open so you can film him putting in the cake next to the refried beans, and he has to even lift it in sideways. They're going through trouble to set up this joke. Then the joke becomes, oh, the cake's frozen. How do we thaw it? And we forget about the refried beans.
Well, what about the joke that they tried to set up for it's now frozen, and Cheech Marin, he says, let's put it in the microwave. And one of the cooks says, isn't the icing going to melt? And the answer to that is, yes, it will. And he says, oh, it'll heat from the inside out. That joke doesn't go anywhere either. And he brings out the cake, and it's in flawless, perfect condition. So it's like, wow, that actually worked.
Well,
but it's like you could feel that there was potentially a joke in there that they didn't go into.
And it would have been so much funnier if when the piñata falls and explodes the cake, that it was like molten hot filling that hit them, and it was run screaming. She's now disfigured for life. That would have been funny.
It would have been funny.
Right. So of course, what's going on at the table at the time is that you find out that the stuck-up rich white girl, I guess Australian girl, but still white. She's
British.
Same thing. It's still white. Still Anglo. It's still Anglo-European Caucasian.
Okay.
But
they make it a point to they make it a point for everyone to know that her family is Australian. Like her father, during one scene, his sister, the one that Cheech Marin punches.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, you must forgive him. He's Australian." Like they make it a point to say that we're British, they're Australian. We just happen to live here.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, I think they just have to explain the accents away since they're not talking funny.
Well, the father has a British accent. The daughter has a British accent.
That's what I'm saying. But he's not talking like a funny Australian. So you have to explain that. That's why they bring it up.
Well, yeah.
Because otherwise the audience be confused.
Yeah, here's the scene. He's like, okay, move over, Beans. I was specifically told not to have you next to Beans, and here we go anyway.
And it never comes up. But maybe they're holding out for the sequel. I don't know. But the rich girl, Alex, she wants to marry this loser soccer-playing jock, and he's a complete waste, and the father doesn't like him. So she tries to buy out Alex, and Alex says, "I'll tell you what. Then no complaints from you. I'm going to marry the next person I come across," and it turns out to be Cheech Marin, Carlos, and the setup really doesn't make much sense. There's no hard sell. I mean, it's not like he's bound to agree with. I mean, it's like a gentleman's bet,
right?
But with no handshaking. It just really, it's an excuse to set the plot in motion, is what it is. Are you with me on that?
I am with you on that. I'm answering a question. They actually wanted to know the second film that I was playing, the one with all the nudity and man-eating vaginas.
We're talking about Shrimp on the Barbie here. Thank you very much.
Well, hey, I'm just our audience asking questions. We have to answer them.
Well, I guess we do. So, but am I missing something about the setup there? That's basically the
no. That's it. She wants to marry, circuitry man, and she knows the father's going to disapprove, so she hires Cheech Marin to be an asshole, so that the father says, "You know what? That other guy, he's all right. This guy's a real douche," and it backfires.
Well, and it's a typical story. First of all, it's your, again, poor guy, minority class, goes into a rich family, becomes is like shocking and abusive, or shocks the system of the upper class. But they don't really play it out well enough, and the father takes a liking to him way too quickly.
Well, isn't this just The Weekend?
But still,
doesn't the film only take place over maybe a long weekend, like a 3-day week?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a short week, that kind of thing.
Because they specifically say that the restaurant's going to go under in a week.
Right.
So this is happening in less than 7 days, and from what I understand,
they set that up
because her cousin says, "Oh, I'm here." Because
the wedding's scheduled in a week. That's why.
Well, right. No, there's no wedding scheduled in a week.
Well, he's coming back in a week, and then they're going to make the announcement.
But that's not a scheduled wedding. But anyway,
he mentioned a schedule. Don't start with me on this.
Stop. By the way, this is my favorite line in the film right here during this commercial.
What?
What is this? 4X beer?
4X beer? Oh.
4X beer. Get it out of her pants and in your face. Favorite line in the whole movie.
Actually, I think my favorite
because it
line...
makes no fucking sense.
Well, and that's I guess
at what point is that beer in her pants?
Well, if she's, I don't know, if she's carrying it. I think in the context of the commercial, she had it in her pocket or something.
Maybe
I'm not saying
maybe
it makes
they're
sense.
alluding to the
that
fact that if you get her shit-faced enough, she'll put it in your face.
Yeah, I think that's the subtle thing they're getting at there. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that is the basic setup of the film.
Now the rich girl, of course, is played by what's her name? Emma Sams, who's
Dynasty, General Hospital fame. And there are scenes in the film where you can tell that she comes from a soap opera background.
Also,
especially during the slideshow.
Her best friend is Carol Davis.
Right.
And between the two of them, I've never seen pants so tight ever worn an individual.
And you're complaining?
I'm not complaining per se. It was just mind-boggling. I think they actually made pants that tight. How do they get them into them? How do they get them out? Both are good questions. They're extremely tight pants. There's that one scene where they're hanging the birthday banner at the end. I was like, my God, those are tight pants.
Yeah, and yellow.
Yeah.
Tight yellow pants.
Those are very, very tight.
There's poor circulation. Poor circulation.
Hurting my circulation. Those are tight pants.
Very tight pants.
Yes. I just had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Now Cheech Marin goes through the whole film. He spends half the time doing his old Cheech routine.
Oh yeah, Born in East L.A. Pretty much any film he did during the '80s where he had a lead.
And the problem is the only thing that really saves this film from being excruciating is that no matter how bad the film is,
right,
you have to laugh every now and then because Cheech is so likable. He's such such a great personality. And the routine, everyone loves the routine. That's why his career lasted as long as it did. And so when he's going up the stairs and the maid and he's like, "Hey, mamacita," "Oh, that's fine. Walk away, bitch. I make you wait next time. There you go. You'll be on your hands and knees saying, please, Carlos, me next." It's funny.
It is, and I wonder how much of that is actually ad-libbed by him, because it's not all scripted.
Well, and I wouldn't say ad-libbed as much as I'd guarantee that he worked on the script with them at that point, where they're like, okay, how are we going to do this scene because this is your material?
That's a big fucking microwave, too. It fit a whole cake.
Yeah, barely.
No, there was room in that fucking thing.
It was 1992. I don't think it spun.
You don't think it was a spinning microwave?
Oh,
even though that's been around since the 70s? But okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right, sir. I'm not debating you on microwave technology now.
You should.
They do heat from the inside out.
They heat from the inside out.
And they also poison your food.
And the icing doesn't melt.
Right. Also, did you notice the bathroom when they go to the bathroom in the Mexican restaurant?
Oh yeah, where the owner Ron comes in.
Yeah, perfect sign of a low-budget film. When they're in the bathroom, what does it look like to you? It looks like a different part of the room with drapes over the walls.
Oh yeah, it just looks like they rearranged it. Sure.
Later on, after the whole incident, when they're sitting around the table depressed, you can see the part of the room that they were using as the bathroom.
Oh really? I missed that.
And the drapes are actually crumpled up, sitting in the bath. It's like, oh wait, look at that! I recognize those drapes. It's just and that mansion. So this is in Australia. This is what billionaires live in, mansion-wise. They walk in that front foyer.
Yeah,
it's like my living room's bigger than that. What the hell?
That's only the 1/10 of the house. It's
like the outside,
so much bigger.
It's like they found this great huge house. And they're like, okay, but we can't film inside. So if anybody's got a house we can film in,
right.
And so, they really they kept most of the inside shots like small rooms and hallways. They never really got a scope of the house because obviously they couldn't film inside the big house.
Yeah, they filmed outside on the grounds for most of the movie. There was very few scenes in the house.
Right, and what they were very closed in, except maybe the dining room sequence.
I wouldn't be surprised if they reused like the bathroom scene. If they reused rooms, they just rearranged them.
Oh no, definitely.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, one hallway for 3 hallways, just like Circuitry Man with the never-ending parking garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they went to a lot of locations for that. And my favorite thing about the mansion, though,
What's that?
it was nice to see Sloth from the Goonies make a cameo as the butler.
Jeeves.
Yeah.
Well, his name was Edison, but he just
Right.
kept calling him Jeeves anyway.
And was that not Sloth?
That is not Sloth.
I had to look it up. That's how close he looks to Sloth. I actually looked it up.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That was, and not only did Sloth in there, two members of the Road Warrior cast.
I thought there was more than that.
Well, at least 2. I noticed 2. Do you notice more than that? It was Vernon Wells.
Vernon Wells and Bruce Spence.
Right. Those are the 2 I recognized.
Right. Obviously they're immediate. Well, actually, you know what?
What? Don't give me silence.
No.
Silence.
I think that you know what? I think you are right. I think that it is just those are the only 2. I mean, if we
They're the
really
only
picked
two
it apart,
names.
bone dry, we might have found somebody else involved.
How many actors are there in Australia?
Maybe not actors. Maybe crew.
Walk on, or I mean, like you might even have like walk-ons of people that. Oh yeah, I was one of the guys in the background. That's possible. It's Australia. They have like 20 actors between it, the whole country.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's why they got Paul Hogan back eventually.
They got him back.
I think
doesn't
so.
Doesn't he have financial problems right now? Isn't he being sued?
I don't know. I'm out of. I signed off of the Paul Hogan fan club after 1994 because it got repetitive after that. They kept trying to sell you copies of Almost an Angel.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's one where he comes back, right? And his real life wife.
Don't ruin the twist ending. There's a twist ending to that film. Don't ruin it.
What?
Almost an Angel.
You don't know that he comes back
But you don't know that
in the beginning?
You're ruining it. There's a twist.
There is a twist?
There's a twist, sir.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, you remember all right.
I don't. I
Ruining
remember
a
it
great film
fucking
like that.
blows.
Well, the great thing too is this film is obviously trying to capture the whole Australian, fever that overtook entertainment industry.
Right.
By 1990, it's already on the way out.
Oh,
the
yeah.
the Jocko TV show is come and gone. You remember Jocko?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. We're probably the only 2. Oi!
Oi!
The Foster's Australian for beer commercials, those were already on the way out.
Sure,
We're getting tired of that sight gag.
The false ones, Foster's Australian for shit-faced.
Yeah, there you go.
Know?
So they're by the time this comes out, everyone's done with it already.
Yeah, the fake funny accents, or not the fake, the funny accents, shrimp on a Barbie.
I don't think
So
they're all
I didn't mean fake. We don't have any listeners in Australia. At least that's not what the bandwidth tells me. We do have a few I could see in New Zealand, but they hate it when you call them Australian and vice versa.
The film was filmed on both locations in New Zealand and Australia.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
Yeah, so they used some New Zealand locations. New Zealand, of course, is the rich man's Australia.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah, and Australia is the poor man's Australia.
Yeah.
There's no poor man's New Zealand.
No. Well.
No.
Well,
No.
maybe
No.
where that earthquake was.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, so
And of course,
at one point in the film,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I'm saying, the whole point is that eventually the father starts falling for Carlos, and the girl falls for Carlos.
Which he falls for him very quickly, just like she does.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I mean, basically, they go on a road trip to go see Bruce, played by Vernon Wells. And the entire road trip down, not that they hate each other, but at that point, there is no attraction between the two of them. Anywhere in the film. There isn't.
No. Well,
Zero.
The best part, they get lost in the forest, they hate each other.
Right.
Then she helps them make a fire, and you come back like an hour later, and they're giggling and running and buddying up. So what? Gathering firewood apparently is like the greatest way to just the biggest aphrodisiac. Or
apparently.
And I must point out that Carlos does not get into the tight pants of either of the two women.
Correct.
Or not even the cousin who likes the horses.
Correct. Yeah, nobody has sex in this movie yet. Well, that's not true. Vernon Wells, Bruce, does cheat on her with her girlfriend, her best friend. But as far as Carlos and her, nope, they don't. See,
It's a
all right,
PG-13 film.
you
And
can get
Cheech Marin's not.
you can get away with a lot in a PG-13 film.
Oh, I didn't
My
finish the
point
second
being is,
there, but go ahead.
in this day and age, even 22 years ago when this movie came out, you
Yeah.
don't fucking.
Yeah.
You don't know if you love someone, and I'm sorry, sex is a big part of how or when you know you love somebody. There's a physical attraction, and then there is an emotional attraction. What? Well, what is this now?
Are we getting into like sex ed 101 here?
Yes, we are, briefly, because
Dude,
I'm sorry, you have to try before you buy. That's
Can I
the
give
way
you
I feel.
Can I give you a rational explanation as to why the film's the way it is with that? Because Cheech Marin's
Sure.
the last person you want to involve in a sex scene.
I'm not saying that they had
Do you
to.
want to see Cheech Marin making out with her?
Well, they do for
No.
one part,
No
and you can
one-
tell that mustache is very whiskery and very itchy.
No one wants to see that. And he's allowed to wear a mustache with no beard. I have to add to my list now. I've always said you're not allowed to have a mustache without a beard unless you're from the 70s or gay. And I have to add to it Mexican. Mexicans are allowed to get away with that.
What about Indians? They rock the mustache. They may not look good in them, but
No.
what else
No,
do they
they're
got
not
going
allowed.
for them?
They're not allowed.
They're not allowed either?
Gays, Mexicans, and 70s. And porn stars.
Porn stars.
Or any
70s porn stars. Any
combination of the four. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he
So
is looking a little sloth-like.
So a gay Mexican porn star is definitely allowed to have a mustache, no beard.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the rule.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, you're right. They fall together. They fall together real quick, and then of course at the same time, while they're stranded in the woods, Bruce is hitting on her friend, and they get together and they have the naked thing in the. They have that striptease, which is just like okay, it's a PG-13
Oh
film.
yeah, where she's like ba-da-da-da-da.
Even I'm getting bored. So, all right,
Ba-da-da-da-da.
yeah, move on. All right,
And
get
he's
it.
just like, oh yeah, take it off, yeah.
This-
And then
this-
just a week before, I'm hearing him go head rush. She's like ripping some guy's limbs off.
and it's
like,
not
what
funny
happened?
any level. It's just
It was made the same year. I have a feeling that Circuitry Man, he was, I don't want to say he was in shape, but he was much thinner in Circuitry Man. So I don't know if he did this, lost a bunch of weight, and then did Circuitry Man, or the other way around.
maybe it's just bulkier clothing.
Bulkier clothing. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, well, anyway, they go on this road trip to go see Bruce, and that is where he ends up cheating on her with her best friend.
Right.
And where else can you go other than the fact that she catches him cheating on him because the father sends out a photographer
Yeah, too much
to spy on him?
The last half hour of the film, there's too much going on. Like it goes from like dull to all of a sudden there's like 3 plot lines going, and now there's intrigue, and
Right.
what's she gonna do? And then all of a sudden it gets complicated. You know, it's a really simple comedy. Then all of a sudden the father's having photos taken. And who's the guy with the camera as Cheech Marin's getting his ass kicked?
Yeah.
You know, and then all the reveals are the build-up's too big. The reveals are like the minute they give him the spare tire. The guy that the side of the
Right.
road they give is okay. So how long do they have a flat? Now I know it's not supposed to be a big surprise, but the whole film's like that. The setups, except for things like the fried beans where they never follow through with the setup, the setups are coming a mile away, and the only thing holding the film together is Cheech Marin's personality.
Right.
And the only problem with that is every 10 minutes you wonder to yourself, could we at least have Tommy Chong do a walk-on so he has someone to play off of? Because
This was during a time where Tommy Chong and Cheech Marin, they were not they weren't like friends anymore.
right.
I think there were problems, actually.
Mhm.
So I think that's why they... Because Tommy Chong didn't really branch off and do much until he started doing things like that 70s show,
Yeah.
you know? And that show made him popular enough to get him thrown in jail for selling
The
pipes.
bongs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I never read into it, but all I can assume is that after a while, I think Cheech Marin had the idea of, you know what, I need to branch off and do my own career. And Tommy Chong was probably along the lines of, this is working. What are you talking about?
Right.
That's a guess. I haven't read anything about it. I never got too much into it. I just.
Yeah.
But this film really does make you want to go back and watch Nice Dreams or something like that.
Or
Or
Still Smoking.
yeah, Up and Smoke.
Hell, I'll even watch the Corsican Brothers.
I don't know if I go that far.
Oh, I'd watch the Corsican Brothers. Fucking A. Especially that whole opening where they're the twins that's babies. I don't know. It's something about
Is
that.
Still Smoking the one where they're in like Europe and they make the E.T. movie, The Extra Testicle?
I want to
That
say
was like
I want to say yes.
That's the only. I don't think I cared for that one. I need to go back to Nice Dreams or Up in Smoke. That's your.
Oh
high
yeah, those are your
points right there.
classics. Sure.
Yeah. Stacy Keach,
Paul
Pee Wee
Rubens.
Herman, Paul Rubens.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
and one thing I will say is
What's that?
when Cheech Marin is doing his obnoxious Latino routine amongst the rich people,
Right.
Paul Rodriguez does it 10 times better in The Whoopee Boys.
Oh, does he?
My personal opinion, he does it good. But like when Cheech Marin's there and they're playing tennis, he's like, where's my bat? It's like, it's funny. And it's only funny because Cheech is saying it. If anybody
Right.
else had said it, it's funny. But even then, that scene feels kind of like the beginning of Bachelor Party, where he's hanging out with his rich in-law, soon-to-be in-laws.
Right.
It still has the same feel. A lot of that feels lifted from other movies, and Cheech pulls it off okay, but he doesn't really. It's like you can always see there's like it looks like an act. The way he purposely does it so it seems like it's an act.
Right.
When Paul Rodriguez does it in The Whoopee Boys, it just comes off as just being detestable, and it's great. It's hilarious. I have a soft spot in my heart for that film, as bad as
I
it
haven't
is.
seen it in a long time.
Oh, I could quote like whole sections of that film. I used to
Really?
watch it over and over again. Yeah, Paul Rodriguez and what's his name, the guy from Caddyshack. Those two were just great in it. It's like one of my favorite like '80s comedies, and
Okay.
and it got a lot of other like comedians in there too.
Guy from Caddyshack.
Yeah, he was a co-star. The guy from Caddyshack, wasn't it? Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up now.
Fine, go ahead, do that. But there are a lot of people in that. But for the most part, the real thing that falls apart with The Shrimp and the Barbie, despite the fact it's a low-budget film and it doesn't really belong in Australia, is the fact it's nothing more than your typical
Gotcha. Michael O'Keefe. I know who you mean now.
Michael O'Keefe. There you go.
Yeah, he played Danny. How
Right,
would you like to mow my lawn, Danny? Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy.
The Shrimp on the Barbie is really just your typical fish out of water, poor guy, rich family, romantic comedy.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to offer. And even though they put it in the Australian locale, they don't play off of it enough.
No, they really don't.
Right.
I mean, what
I
are you going to do? That's the way they went with it.
Yeah. And do you have anything else to add about the movie? I mean,
no, I got zip.
yeah, there wasn't much. Again,
There
this
really
is why-
isn't anything.
And this is why I really don't care to do comedies too much on the show. I'm not complaining that you brought it up. This is
Well,
one
I
of
mean,
the-
we did like sci-fi 3 weeks in a row.
No, you're right. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's one reason is because when it comes to the comedies, apart from saying, that wasn't funny, there's really not too much to add to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're only at an hour into the show. I think
Right.
a little less, just from the opening from us.
Which means this is a perfect time to bring up the new segment of the show,
Which is
the Moviesucktastic film review haiku.
now for anyone that doesn't know what a haiku is, would you like
Which
to
means-
explain it to them?
If you're a third grader and you haven't learned fully how to write, haiku, haikus, they teach you haikus like in like
Excuse me.
kindergarten.
Do they really teach haiku in kindergarten? Because I don't
Yeah.
remember hearing about haiku in kindergarten.
You cannot know poetry and still know what a haiku is. Haiku is the
Listen,
easy.
I know what it was. I'm just giving an excuse to everyone listening
Fine.
out there that may not know what it is. We got a lot of people in foreign countries too.
They have haikus in foreign countries.
I know they do.
They might call it something
But-
different accent, but
Hey,
all right, I'll explain it.
all right, just explain it very quickly.
Haiku. I don't have the history of the haiku in front of me, but what a
Japanese.
haiku is, I'm pretty sure it's Japanese,
Japanese born.
right? Well, I don't know. Born it had
No,
Japanese.
I'm pretty sure they invented it.
Well, they might. I don't know if they invented poetry.
The fucking word haiku is Japanese.
That doesn't mean they invented it. It just mean they named it. But I don't know because I don't have the history in front of me. Anyway,
Whatever. Go ahead.
I believe it's Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And a haiku is a simple format of 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. That's the art of it.
And then what is it? 17 words or less, or up to 17?
I don't know if there's a word limit. There's a syllable limit. It's 5, 7, and 5.
5, 7, and 5.
Has to be 5, 7, and 5.
Okay.
Does your haiku fall within that standard?
I don't know.
Okay, count the syllables real quick. Now, I was going to request...
You know what? Yeah, no, it does. It does.
I was going to request ahead of time that we had some kind of music to play over it, but at your request, I'll just play my bongos.
Yeah, just get it closer to the mic, though.
Oh, yeah, closer to the mic? Well, then I can't... I'm like playing it here, then. How's that?
That's good. Got to be able to hear it. Now, since I only have one...
You want to hear it? I thought I was just going to, like, hold them.
I will refrain from answering you back.
So, you want to go first, sir?
I only have one, so I don't know if you want to read, like, maybe 2 or 3, and then I'll do mine, and then you'll do your last 1 or 2.
Sure, and I only did 5 because I was getting the feel for it.
5?
I've got 5.
I know when we talked about it earlier, you said, yeah, we should do 4 or 5 a week. And I'm like, I got a phone call about tuna fish yesterday. And, yeah, that ain't happening.
Well,
I might be able to get you 1 or 2, but my plate's a little full right now.
But they don't have to be about the film we're reviewing. It can be any film.
Okay.
That brought
that's fine.
But for this one,
I think we should do 1 about the film we're reviewing, and then any others that we want to do.
Yeah, we'll add some on. But for this one, just to get it started, all of the film review haikus are going to be on the shrimp of the Barbie. The shrimp on the Barbie. Say it for me.
The shrimp on the Barbie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, here's Moviesucktastic's first ever film review haiku. First one, haiku 1.
Haiku 1.
Frozen birthday cakes and a boxing kangaroo. Chong couldn't save this. Okay? All right.
Yeah, I like it.
Number 2. Film haiku review for Shrimp on the Barbie. Number 2.
Okay.
Never asked to see Vernon Wells naked waist down. Thanks a lot for that. Okay, ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Number 3. Aussie Latinos. I gotta start again. Ready?
Okay.
Aussie Latinos. No switchblade boomerang jokes. I feel so cheated.
Okay. You want me to do mine?
Yes, do yours.
All right. Haiku.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Number 4. I'm going to do this in an Australian accent, too, by the way.
That works.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
The Barbie is cold. There is no shrimp. Emma Samms could never love you. You're Mexican.
So you got 5, 7, and 5 out of that?
Well, yeah.
I felt like more than 5, 7, and 5.
Is it?
I don't know. I wasn't counting. Okay, that's cool.
I need a word with 7 syllables.
No. You don't. Never mind. It's fine. It was good. I like that. Actually, read it one more time. I want to hear it again.
All right. The Barbie is cold. There is no shrimp. Emma Samms could never love you. I don't know why I sound like JFK all of a sudden. You're Mexican.
Even if it does not adhere to strict haiku form, it's still good. I like that one.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Let me switch around here.
That's my very first haiku.
Ready? I've got to... I don't do this a lot either. Let me just say that.
Okay.
Poetry is not my bag, man. Okay. Scott-tastic movie haiku review for Shrimp on the Barbie number 4.
It's 5, actually. Oh, it's your 4th.
My 4th.
Okay, fine.
Mine number 4. Mine.
Go ahead.
You already had your mine.
I said mine was number 4. It don't matter. It was the 4th one we did.
Okay, this is number 5 then. 5.
Go for it.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to be close for this. Ready. The Shrimp on the Barbie haiku, number 5. Cheech goes down under to prove you can go no lower than Spy Kids 3D. And finally, ready for the big one?
I'm ready.
And more. This last one. Extremely Tight Pants. Emma Samms. Carol Davis. Where was Cheech again?
I like that one. I think I like that one the most.
Really? Okay, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I think it had a lot to do with the bongos, just like the timing of it.
And this was,
You know?
once again, this was Moviesucktastic Haiku Review. Dig it? I do.
Beautiful.
Maybe we'll branch in like some Moviesucktastic film review beat poetry instead, because the bongos are more a beat poetry kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
You know?
Sure.
Yours actually, that's why I liked yours, because now that I think about it, because yours didn't really have that haiku feel. Yours felt more like the beat poetry.
Yeah.
I really liked yours, but on a beat poet level.
Okay.
So maybe we can get rid of the haiku part if we want and go with
just do beat poetry.
That's possible. I like that little beat. It's a little less.
We can
restrictive.
still do the haikus. We can throw those in when we got them.
But the beat's a little less restrictive. It gets you more freedom there. I've seen the best minds of my generation. Watch Avatar.